And we are back with WTCA TV live from Bengaluru, India, home of the 54th Annual Global Business Forum, hosted by the World Trade Centers Association. I'm your host, Laurel Burton, and I am thrilled to be partnered here with two fellow Denverites, Denver, Colorado. First, Stephanie Garnica and Sandi Moilanen. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I have the honor of being with your delegation to represent Denver, but why don't you tell us a little bit about your roles, and what brought you to the Global Business Forum?
Go ahead. Well, again, I'm Sandi Moilanen, and I am the Vice President of Operations for the World Trade Center Denver. So in that role, I manage all of our trade services. It's something that we've intentionally tried to build out for the last 5 years, and that's been my role, is to move beyond just educating our community in international trade and international business topics, and really looking into helping our businesses become more global with one-on-one support through our consulting services. And then our latest trade service that we offered is really more of an accelerated program that combines both our consulting practice and our education together into one at an accelerated pace. So our accelerated program is our newest trade service. So
well, good.
That is what we've been up to the past 5 years.
And I'm going to ask you more about that in a moment, too. And Stephanie, tell us a little bit about your role. You are adjacent to World Trade Center Denver, but tell us more.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I work for the City of Denver in the Economic Development and Opportunity Office, and specifically was brought in to lead the city's global engagement effort. So that includes both promoting Denver as a great place for international businesses to land and set up operations, but also serves as the diplomacy tool and arm of the city, and really that entry point into Denver for any visiting foreign business person, foreign dignitary, any international visitor that's not coming for a conference or as a tourist or as a student, but needs to meet with either government representatives or private sector, is really that role that we play, is to help them navigate who's in the city, who might be a good resource, and how can we help welcome them if they're looking to land in our city long term.
I'm just going to add one thing about Stephanie and her job. This is a pretty rare role for a U.S. city to actually take on a global team. So it's pretty special and pretty unique to Denver that we have a Stephanie in our city. So we love having a Stephanie in our city.
Oh, thank you for that, Sandi. And I really appreciate you saying that, but it is true. And something we're starting to hear more of in the U.S. is the need to have subnational diplomacy, which is, in essence, a lot of the work our team does, in addition to promoting our city to attract foreign investment into, but also help our companies grow outside of our own borders. So it's both trade and investment, but additionally playing that diplomatic role on a subnational level.
So this might be a good time to ask you about DEDO.
Thank you. Yes, DEDO is the City of Denver's Economic Development and Opportunity Office. And so within DEDO is my team, the Global Engagement team. We have more traditional business development, retention, expansion. So focusing on domestic business development types of efforts. We also have workforce development within our office. And then we have another division that focuses on small business opportunities, so helping minority-owned businesses get certified to do business with the city. So collectively, we all form the economic development arm of city government.
Wonderful. And I love the fact that there is a marriage between the City of Denver and the World Trade Center Denver.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit more, because I believe you guys have some initiatives shared together.
We absolutely, again, this international business community in Denver, the ecosystem to support our companies that are looking to do more global things or welcoming our global community into our community, is a joint effort between multiple organizations. And we, again, every community says they're unique, but I truly believe in Denver that we are really unique in that we really collaborate with organizations. So it's not just us doing global things at the World Trade Center Denver. It's a collective effort to really globalize our community. Again, Denver is a growing city in the United States, and we are not the most global city in the United States. And so we are collectively making efforts, working together to really raise the awareness of Denver in global markets. And then also, I think the real important step is raising the awareness in our own community that we are much more global than we think, and give ourselves credit for. So we've got a number of businesses doing business around the world, and just getting that message out is really important. So we're one arm that does that. City government does that. Our state government does that too. But we have to work all together to coordinate that message. And luckily in Denver, we do.
Well, not only in Denver, but now here in Bengaluru. So I want to hear what have been some of your favorite moments here in Bengaluru so far in the Global Business Forum.
Gosh, meeting the representatives from World Trade Centers around the globe is really fun. And even as we look at where we're starting to see an influx of companies and people coming into our city to then meet people from some of those same countries here and just share ideas and exchange thoughts on why is that happening and how can we leverage what is going on to even amplify it more. So a fun example, a good friend of mine in Denver just got a job with the U.S. State Department and was assigned to go to the U.S. Embassy in Abuja, Nigeria. And we were sitting yesterday during the opening ceremony and I look up and see a woman and her name badge said Abuja, Nigeria. So I talked to her and I mean, kind of unrelated, but related still, just the beauty of these connections. So to tell her that my friend was going to be moving to her city in just a couple months, she and I and Sandi took a photograph together. I sent it to my friend back in Denver to say, you already now have a new friend in Abuja for when you land and want to get set up. So the beauty of bringing people together from around the world, making those connections and uncovering commonalities and ways to start building a relationship moving forward. I think that's been one of my favorite parts so far.
That sounds wonderful. And Sandi, what have been some of the highlights?
I would say building on that, bringing, again, all the World Trade Centers together, but then bringing our members along with us so that they can connect directly with these World Trade Centers too. It's just, there's something about in-person connections that you make and these relationships that you build. So letting our members come along with us, and we're a delegation of 8 other Denver companies here. So hopefully most of you have met then all of our Denver companies, but having them experience what we get to experience as a network, I think is just incredible. And those personal relationships that they can build for themselves is really helpful too. So I love the idea, this global business forum, moving it from a general assembly to a global business forum, letting our member companies come along with us is really special. So that's been my favorite part.
Very good. Well, how about some of the tourist destinations? I happen to know that you've done a nice tour of Bengaluru, and I may have been able to be fortunate enough to join you. Did you have a favorite visit and stop?
Ooh, I loved our lunch, getting an authentic restaurant experience. Granted, we have had every single meal we have had here, in my opinion, has been so amazing. I don't know if my pants will agree with me, but so amazing. Just every single meal. So that authentic meal that we had at a Indian restaurant where it was a Sunday afternoon, and so a lot of Indian families were joining at the restaurant. So that was just fun to see. That again, and the food and the amount of food that kept coming. That was just fun to be part of. So that was my favorite part.
I understand that restaurant is over 100 years old, just turned a century. That's amazing. And how about you, Stephanie?
That was another favorite of mine, but additionally, I really enjoyed the palace tour that we started off with to get a glimpse into the royal life here in India. And then there happened to be a wedding going on, as we all remember. So even seeing the preparations taking place, the decor, the flowers, the beauty of putting together what this amazing venue was going to be like for this upcoming wedding. That was really special too.
The amount of flowers. That was fun to see. Just a cultural experience that we stumbled upon. That was nice.
And will be memorable
yes.
for years ahead.
Yes.
Excellent. Are there any last elements you want to make sure we share with the WTCA viewers while we have you?
I think it's time for us to at least bring up our joint program that we put together, because I think the World Trade Center Network could really feed a program that we have put on very successfully for the last 9, I guess we've done 9 sessions. Yeah. Anyway, we run a joint program with City of Denver and the World Trade Center Denver really trying to grow international entrepreneurs, help them grow and grow in the United States, which benefits their home country as well. So we have jointly developed an initiative for the city of Denver called the Global Landing Pad. And I'll let Steph really, this was Stephanie's brainchild, and we'll give you full credit for that. But it's just been a really unique program to the city of Denver, and again, pretty unique in the United States, that we'd love to get more World Trade Centers involved, because I think it could benefit the World Trade Center network. We could help more international entrepreneurs through the World Trade Center.
Yeah, and really, there are entrepreneurial pockets in every country. I mean, that's something we've learned here in Bengaluru as well, is how a lot of the tech infrastructure that was here has now morphed into a lot of that tech talent leaving and starting their own spin-off companies. So a lot of entrepreneurs here in Bengaluru and around the globe. And so Denver, as our new global team was established as part of city government, being that welcoming arm to international business people, foreign dignitaries, we realized that companies, no matter where they're from, or business people, founders, no matter where in the world they're from, no matter what sector they represent, the U.S. is a big market. It's an overwhelming market. It's sometimes referred to as 50 countries in one, and then even within our 50 states, cities are unique. And so helping these international founders not only understand if Denver could be the right fit for their company as they explored U.S. expansion, but if it is, how do you go about, where do you even begin? What's step one? So knowing that the World Trade Center Denver has this incredible network of experts in all of these very topics, whether it's international banking, whether it's immigration, whether it's the legal structure of a company, and what are the tax liabilities depending upon how you structure your company, to how do I hire people? There's different hiring practices in different countries. So international business people coming to a new market are not only trying to launch a revenue generating, profitable company, but they also need to raise brand awareness or create it if it doesn't exist, and then learn how to go about engaging in business in a totally different way. So through this program, we help guide them through all of the steps needed to raise awareness if they weren't familiar, and then provide them with the solution, with the expert provider, with the organization that then can help them do that very thing, while also introducing them to who are some people or members of the community from their home country who could help them navigate those challenges, help them if they're feeling homesick. So really trying to make it both the right fit from a geographic location to also the right fit culturally, and then really helping them get integrated into our community. So our global landing pad, as Sandi said, this will be our 9th cohort coming up in September. So this has been a great means also of promoting our global landing pad now that the portal's open for applicants, and sharing the idea with the other World Trade Centers that are here to see if they do something similar or are interested in replicating this really successful program that's allowed us to welcome 90 companies from almost 20 countries to Denver to come spend time together, go through the program, forge friendships, relationships, and then about 30% of the companies end up actually landing and establishing their company in Denver.
Which, again, is an amazing statistic. 30% success rate in having these companies then open up operations in Denver. It's pretty amazing.
That's wonderful. It's very aptly named Global Landing Pad, because you truly have established that Denver is the global landing pad for anyone in our community to come and do business, set up shop.
That's right. Yeah.
So if there's anyone that wants to learn more about the World Trade Center Denver or DEDO and what your programs, how do we reach you?
Probably easiest way is through email. And then from there, we can send information, and maybe our emails will be shared through this interview or posted at the end. Happy to provide that information and make it accessible to whoever might want it.
All of our social media was provided, I believe. So social media, any means.
And contacting the World Trade Center Denver. Great.
Yes.
World Trade Center Denver.
Yes.
Great.
Perfect starting point.
And perfect endpoint.
Yes, yes.
Great. Well, I just want to thank you, too, for stopping by WTCA TV. It's wonderful to work with fellow Denverites. Sandi, Stephanie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Laurel. We're glad you're glad to be a Denverite with you. We are in great company here.
Cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.